Hi, you guys. My name is Lenisha. I have a website called Ravishing Reads slash Free Spirit Aesthetics. If you guys are ever looking for a wise counsel, a holistic consultant, divination practitioner, multifaceted advisor, and the list goes on, please make sure you give me a follow or a subscribe wherever you are watching this from. I usually go live on TikTok. I don't have any set times. I usually go on whenever I feel called to, or things of that nature. Right now, I'm going to be doing a collective, but from time to time, I give advice within the collectives, etc. So if you guys are ever needing, once again, any of my services, just let me know in the chat or however you know how to get in touch with me. All right. Let's see what's just going on in your energy, in your life. In your energy, in your life. In your energy, in your life. All right. Tilt this over some. Oh, okay. Let me just do it like that. All right. For those who will be coming in or watching this video when it gets uploaded, what message do I have for them? What is going on? What is the tea? We're going to start with what's the tea. What is the tea? We got fake smiles on the back. Cleansing the energy within and around me. Cleansing the energy of this deck. All right. What is the tea in the collective's life? Be mindful that messages could be past, present, or future. Okay, messages can also be timeless. And if this is not your energy, it's talking about other people's energy. All right, so let's see. What is the tea in the collective's life? What is the tea here in the collective's life? You're dodging bullets. You are dodging bullets. You're blocking negativity. You're escaping crazy people. And you're protected from haters. Love that. Let's get the true emotions regarding this situation. Yeah, y'all in that divine feminine energy. Because of the energy of this deck. Because of the energy. Then and around. Give me the true emotions behind the situation. I was picking up on this dodging bullets energy earlier. Give me the true emotions around the situation. We got mirroring, love, hate. So a lot of you guys, this could be individuals who you were basically really connected towards. Like, I don't know if it was some type of bondage or attachment going on. But I feel like you guys are freeing yourself. You're realizing or learning the karmic lesson. This most definitely was a karmic lesson. We got thug coming out. Police officers, handcuffs, jail could be significant. Yeah, I feel like a lot of you guys were dealing with people who were very much my way or the highway. And I feel like you started transmuting, alchemizing. Maybe some of you guys are being strategic within the situation. Some of you guys have this ex that just won't let go. This most definitely could be somebody who's of it like a jackass. Excuse my language, that's what these cards say. All right, what is the tea? What is the tea? Yeah, there's nobody else to start drama in your life now that you are doing these things. Yeah, these people ain't shit. We got giving money. Tell me more about the dodging bullets energy. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You not being around people who fake smiling in your face, who just trying to be in your business, who starting drama. Y'all dodging bullets for real. Y'all were dealing with people who were very selfish, loud, arrogant, stubborn, very much egocentric. Some of these people most definitely could have trouble with the law, or they come off as like this thug energy. These people could have been, you could have been a mirror towards these individuals. Like maybe in a sense of mirroring each other's shadow aspects, insecurities, or just reflecting back to these people who they were, you know, and vice versa. Your light irritating their demons. This most definitely could be people who you've given money to, or they may have given money to you. I'm seeing like over $100, but drawings could be significant. But yeah, you most definitely dodging bullets, because these people really ain't shit, genuinely. Okay, some of these people don't like that you rejected them, and they could be a person that never has facts. They always making things up, lying. But they are receiving karma, present energy within and around. We got the divine masculine and the divine feminine coming out here. So you guys could be balancing out the masculine and the feminine, or you could be attracting an ideal partner in relationships in your life, because you're learning the karmic lesson. We got emotional storm. Yeah. See, people are going through turmoil. They're unstable. They're being affected, especially due to the consequences of their actions. You know, they got debt to pay. Karma is coming to collect, and these people are going through it, honey. Yeah, they running. Or this could have been a runner. Some of y'all are the one that's ghosting and disappearing. It's almost like you're invisible, but this could be their energy. Some of these people are running, honey. You can, I'm gonna find you. You guys have set boundaries, or you're encouraged to do so. Like I said, if you're not doing this already, it could be talking about other people's energy, or it could be encouraging you to do so. So if you are not setting boundaries, then you're encouraged, you know, start saying no, draw the line, enough is enough, right? For others of you guys, you're already in this energy of setting boundaries. You're saying no, you're drawing the line. You're in this energy of, you know, enough. Yeah. See, you are somebody who's very trusting, reliable. All right? People believe in you. They can trust in you. But I don't think you could have really done this with other people. And I feel like you're attracting, like I said before, better connections and relationships. Can I go to Switzerland? Yeah, I feel like you guys you've been in all different kinds of energies. You've been in your Queen of Swords energy. You've been in this energy. And now I feel like it's coming back all together into like the divine feminine, divine masculine energy. Queen of Swords is usually someone who has good judgment based on everything that they went through. You know, life was not the easiest, but they've gotten through it. Or they're getting through it, and those tough times and pain and battles and trials and tribulations and all that stuff has turned, you know, experience into wisdom. The wisdom has come from the experiences, and I feel like that's what's going on. Any more messages here relating to this situation? More messages here related to this situation. It came out Ice Queen, Queen of Swords energy. Intelligent, rational. I feel like you guys are being in this energy. Can be encouraged. We got a boss here. Some of y'all, your leadership, your ambition could have been a bit hindered, or it's picking back up again. You can also be attracting a boss energy. Yeah. Some of y'all was dealing with somebody who was abusing their power. Someone who has some type of leadership. Could be like a fiery energy, or they could be a fire sign. We got love spell here. It could be some type of love hate is actually on this energy as well, which is crazy, as well as emotional manipulation. So love spell, they don't have to just be with potions and candles and crystals. It can be, but for others, you guys, this could have been some type of form of emotional manipulation as well. More love hate energy going on. So whoever these individuals are that you're dodging bullets from, you most definitely could have had some type of love hate relationship. You could have been dealing with somebody who was very like egocentric, possibly even insecure, someone who abuses their power. All right, but I feel like you guys are running, escaping, freeing yourself from these situations. You are a loyal person who's very reliable, and I feel like you are attracting these energies as well. But maybe you just was learning some type of karmic lesson here. And like I said, you have no more people who's just riding your coattail, who don't really like you, but they maybe just want something from you. The benefits of being in your energy, like I said, who wouldn't want to be in a person's energy with this like type of energy, right? So these people are upset that you reject them. Some of these people are literally in denial about being rejected as well. But you are ascending. You are moving into alignment. Yep. Abundance is here. On the back, we got family. So we know that a psychotic ex who won't let go is significant. We know that family, your relatives, are significant. All right. But you guys, I'm seeing travel. So you're going to be going from one place to another. You could have been doing this, especially with these certain energies. If something happened, you like, okay, let me go over here. Let me remove myself, or whatever the case may be. We have real love and message coming out. Some of you guys could be receiving some type of letter or news or notification in the form of genuine, authentic love, okay? Or there's just real love here, and you're going to get a message revolving around it soon. I don't know if somebody personally is going to reach out, or if this is just going to be some type of sign you get, or whatever the case may be. Maybe you can already be seeing signs of, real love and everything like that, but we'll confirm more of the energy. All right. Yeah, pathway on the back. I feel like you're opening up. You're being accessible to this path of real love. Confirm this message. Confirm this message. We got conflict. So I feel like there's going to be some type of disagreement, fight, argument, whatever the case may be, in the form of like a message of some sort. Confirm real love, faith. Yeah, see, have faith that this love offer is going to come in. Have complete trust or confidence in this real love situation. This could be most definitely new love, especially with this one cup here. Somebody who has like actual money, somebody who you can actually rely on. So maybe you're going to have people outside of this energy that's, coming off in conflict. Why is conflict out here with message? We got divination. So maybe somebody is going to be seeking knowledge by spiritual means, whether it's getting readings or whatever the case may be. And maybe something's going to come across them in terms of some type of real love here. And I feel like this is going to make somebody upset. Okay, maybe somebody's just going to see in real life that you are moving forward and pursuing something better, all while being successful while doing so, and successful in other areas of your life simply by effort, courage, or skill. Okay? But this real love is here. Have faith in it. This is most definitely a commitment. This is an offer of a relationship. So have faith. Tell me more about this real love situation. Yeah, I'm telling you, somebody is concerned that you are going to get into somebody else's energy. But that's just part of their karma, seeing you with someone else. Manipulative energy. Somebody lusting after you. You could have been experiencing confusion and illusions. Probably because that love spell as well. They go to Divine Masculine. This is the Divine Masculine coming through with the real love. The Divine. Alright, the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine. Later. Tell me more about this conflict. Tell me more about this conflict. Child. We got awareness, importance, value, decisions, hot and cold, multiple choices, letting go, moving on, walking away. Some of you guys, there was conflict within your relationships. You know, that's why you guys are, especially when it came to like back and forthness or confusion or, you know, decisions and everything like that. I feel like you guys are of depth. So if something is just not giving, then I feel like you gonna be the one to, hey, we need to talk. Okay, we need to talk. Confirm the message. Confirm this message. Yeah. Y'all at y'all breaking point. Conflict is here. Y'all became at y'all breaking point within the situation. And I feel like you're going to get some type of reading to know about these people's energy and this new person that's coming in your life. We got second chance in return. I'm seeing a reconciliation here. An opportunity to make amends. Somebody is going to want to come in to reconcile with you. But I feel like this situation stressed you out. I feel like you are someone who's beautiful inside and out. And you need to trust your intuition when it comes to this. There may be some type of chemistry here and, you know, this person admires you. But at the same time, they have a lot of things that they need to work on. And I don't think you should keep on being like somebody's emotional punching bag, even if they don't mean for you to be. The thing is, you don't give people trauma. So why should you have to settle and go through things that are pretty much unfair? See, that's the point of free will. We choose who we love. Either you can continue to have hope and this, and that. But my thing is you have to go based off of reality. You can't go based off of potential all the time because guess what? Everyone has potential. And trigger warning, even the pedophiles and the deadbeat dads and whoever, everybody has potential. It's just about if they are going to grow, if they are going to ascend. Like, it's a choice. You know, sometimes people get pulled away from their innocence and purity than more than others, I guess, because a lot of us went through our traumas, but a lot of people still show up as loyal, trustworthy, you know, a good friend, a good family member, a good girlfriend, a good boyfriend, a good human, hell, you know. And I know some people feel like bad and good is like overrated, but at the same time, that makes no sense, okay? Confirm more about, somebody gonna come in with a gift. confirm this return and second chance energy. We got commitment here. So whoever these people was, this person was, some of y'all, you know this other person. Be mindful of your family manipulating something. I'm seeing a tower moment, which is destruction, chaos, something happening out of the blue. Who is this person that's coming in to return for a second chance? We got evil eye. This could be getting evil eyed, or this could be a person who evil eyes you, sends you evil eye. Who is this person that's returning back into the collective life, wanting some type of commitment? So like I said, for a lot of you guys, these are people who you've already released and let go of. For others of you guys, this is somebody who's probably coming back around or whatever so that you guys can make amends. But regardless, I feel like you should trust your intuition when it comes to the situation and don't get manipulated and fall victim to this love spell, whether that's love bombing, emotional manipulation, like all of this stuff, because you got to go based off the reality. How did this person make you feel? You know, what happened? And I understand the psychological aspects of everything, like, oh, it's just this person's trauma and da-da-da, but that's cool. We're going to acknowledge that, especially so it can be easier for us to forgive and move forward. But at the same time, once again, this is our life. We have free will and we choose who we love. So either we're going to accept people as they are. Like, are you guys willing to say, like, go another 6 months in this relationship and the same thing remains, right? Are you willing to experience that? Or is this going to bring you discomfort? Is this going to bring you more drained energy? You know, you just have to be real and ask yourself these things, because I promise you, missing a person, that goes away. Having a lot of love for somebody or being in love, that eventually goes away, especially when you start putting yourself first and you just start focusing back on yourself and your career, you know, new friends, new connections, new relationships, healthier ones at that, not just any and everything, but healthier ones. And until then, the main relationship that's really important is one with ourselves. Angel number 9 is out here, time to completion. Angel number 10, 88, 41, 73, 70, 55, 15, 98, 85, yeah, 10 again. 10 could be significant. Angel number 3. So this, whoever this is, this could have been somebody who you were in a committed relationship with. Maybe marriage was a thing, talked about, experienced. And by all means, this can even be family related. Like, you know, it doesn't have to just be looked at in a romantic situation. But I know your family and that ex who won't let you go is significant. We got trapped here. Stuck, tied down, captive. So you don't want to be in connections like that. You don't want to be in connections with people who abuse their power, who's egocentric, and like all these things. Yes, love is there. Okay, we love each other. Or I love you, especially in a way that's healthy enough to say, you know, because sometimes people, they say that they love you, but they treat you like, you know, horrible. All right. Tell me about this commitment. Yeah. So I guess this person who's going to try to double back and return to your energy, they're going to get surprised that you are really done for real. They're going to get surprised that you are done. A lot of y'all was dealing with karmic femmes, whether it's a male or a woman, while you were of high honor, or some of these people tried to operate in a space of high honor. But honestly, that's the point about the illusion. Like, everything is not what it seems. Sometimes people show up and they have both good and bad traits. Alright. So this new love, true love, is coming back around. And I feel like y'all are going to be very surprised. Like, I don't feel like you ever was in a connection that was stable and somebody genuinely wanted to do this life thing with you. Maybe you had some people who probably wanted to do it, but they weren't putting in the work. They were causing you stress, depression, heartache. They was doing love spells, like, you know. So that's actually baggage. Some people, they try to overlook these things, but you got to be real with yourself and be honest. Sometimes when you blinded by love, you can settle and you can, you know, dismiss red flags. But if you did not love these people, you will most definitely not dismiss the red flags, especially in the new energy that you're showing up in today, because you're operating from respect and self-love and everything like that. But I guess a lot of people didn't show up how you needed them to or wanted them to, so you started gaining resentment for some of you guys. But that's just the point of, like, karmic lessons. People, you don't necessarily have to deem them as bad. You know, some of these people, they just got to do better. They got to heal. They got to get their life together for real. But at the same time, they can't be out here at the expense of your peace and everything else. Because I guarantee you, if people come into your life, they're going to be at peace. They are going to be at peace, honey. And mind you, people are not supposed to come into your life bringing you anything. You're supposed to be happy and whole on your own, at peace on your own, period. But at the same time, you're only going to add to their life. Huge positive impact, value. While the other individuals, they're avoiding change. You're coming into depression. It's the same old habits. It's stagnancy. Like, no, that's not what you really want. You got to ask yourself, would this be a person that I'm willing to be in a marriage with if we ever do the marriage thing? Would this be a person that I actually want to have a son or a daughter with? Like, are they a good role model? Are they someone who I would want my child to date or grow up and be like? Like, you got to really ask yourself these questions like it was being asked before. But a lot of times when you transition into different beliefs, you start thinking, oh, okay, well, maybe we're just meant to be together. You know, we're twin flames, so this is normal. Look, we all have our different beliefs, and not every belief is true. So you create your reality based on your belief. So if you believe in something, that's most definitely going to be what exists to you with your reality. Simple. But I feel like you're a boss, and you should date bosses, okay? I feel like you've learned a lot of lessons, or you went through a lot of experiences that taught you lessons that you have learned from. So you need to hold your wisdom close. That's why you're very discerning. That's why your energy starts feeling off whenever you are making the decisions that you're making or operating in certain energies, because your intuition is just going off about something. Your nervous system is going off about something. It wouldn't go off if people were in a safe space. It's not that you're to this, to that, oh, traumatized, da-da-da. Because if that was the case, none of your relationships would have worked out. The only reason why they didn't work out was because it takes two. You can't be the only one holding the emotional, carrying the emotional load and doing this and doing that in a relationship. So people have to show up in a healthy space. I mean, they don't have to be 100% healed and over like their traumas, but at the same time, they could be in an energy to where it doesn't hinder them to the point to where it hinders the relationships that they have with others. Like, it can hinder you in like a particular way, right? But I'm saying like in a way that it won't be so detrimental to who you are within, to the point to where it changes you into someone who you probably wouldn't even want to look at in the mirror or even admit to saying, yeah, that's me, you know? So you're dodging bullets. Be mindful that somebody is going to pop back up in your energy unexpectedly, wanting to offer you some type of offer. So that's your choice. But I feel like a lot of you guys, you're letting go, moving on, and walking away for a lot of y'all. And there's something new coming in that you're encouraged to have trust in. Like, have faith that real love and true love can exist for you. Because if you don't, you probably are going to settle for connections that are really unhealthy for you. Your ancestors coming out here. Your ancestors are very significant. The beings who came before you. Beings who are probably no longer walking this earth. But I mean, that doesn't have to be the case. Ancestors just simply mean descendant. But a lot of people view the ancestors as people who's already walked the plane and has passed away. So for a lot of you guys, heavy confirmation on that. Look, high honor. See, a lot of you guys, you had ancestors who was also operating how you was operating. You know what I'm saying? People with integrity, righteousness. These beings were seen as respected. Some of these individuals could have been in the military. So I feel like your ancestors did not play. Your ancestors was top tier just like you. And I feel like you're connected to them. I don't know if y'all really be getting into all of that, or if you connect with your ancestors or whatever the case may be. Yeah, so y'all are healing. We got heartbreak and despair coming out, and then we have something done successfully by effort, courage, or skill. I feel like y'all was being very strategic when it came to this healing journey. Whether it was subconsciously, consciously, accidentally, and this can also be separate. Like, emotional pain was involved in whatever situation this was, but I feel like you guys are also experiencing some type of achievement. I'm seeing a #1 trophy. Shoot, you could be the #1 trophy as well. The job that you do makes you admirable as well. And I feel like that's why a lot of people, they admire, they hate you and love you at the same time. Like, you're admirable for real, but sometimes people get jealous. Sometimes people get envious, you know. Tell me more about this second chance. Tell me more about this return. Somebody, yeah. So somebody could be trying to return back into your energy after creating some type of false narrative towards you. Like, they knew you were a divine feminine, right? Someone who's intuitive, nurturing, receptive, creative, healing, nurturing. Someone who cares for themselves and others. Someone who trusts their emotions and inner wisdom, listens to their intuition, allows love, support, and blessings to come to them. Somebody who's creative, soft, and expressive. All right, this doesn't have to be male or woman. It's just an energy, so anyone can possess it. But I feel like this person that's returning, wanting this second chance, wanting to make amends, this most definitely could have been somebody who created a false narrative of a divine feminine. They were lying, slandering, defamation. You really could have sued this person for defamation of character. So people trying to come back into your energy after knowing who you were, genuinely a grand person, beautiful energy, and then just created this whole false narrative about you, going to other people, saying this and saying that. Now they're trying to come back in. And then with this second chance energy, it says untrue, inaccurate. Some of these people don't really want no second chance, or they coming in with this second chance, and I don't feel like it can be trusted. Yeah, mature woman in abundance. Of course, who would want to be in your energy? But you got to trust your intuition with this one. See, I'll take 10 on new love. Thank you. Tell me more about this second chance return energy. Yeah, poverty, lack, poor. See, some of y'all, when you're experiencing, like, if you're in survival mode and your nervous system is out of order and like all of this other stuff, sometimes you can operate from scarcity tactics. Sometimes you can go back to people who you know that you would never look at again if you were where you needed to be in life. And even vice versa, like some of these people want to return back into your energy just because they are not whole within. And at least when they were in your energy, you make them feel better, right? So whoever these people are that's returning in, trying to get a second, third, fourth chance, returning back into your energy, I will use my intuition when it comes to this situation, because I don't feel like people are showing up in the way that you be showing up. And if they can't show up in that energy, that's fine. Just leave the collective alone, because the collective, they're at a point in time to where they have ascended. And if you are not operating in like of high honor and divine feminine and masculine energy, then you really don't do no benefit in the collective energy. Only person who's benefiting from the connection is these people. The collective not benefiting from it at all. And I don't mean this out of an energy of, oh, let's use each other so we can be where we want to be. I'm going to use you. No, it's just about, since the collective brings so much to the table and you don't even bring a penny of what the collective is bringing, what are we really doing here? That's like a boss being with somebody who's not a boss. And I do mean this in like the most sincere and, not shallow way at all. But it's just like, you got to date people on your level. Okay? You're overcoming addictions. You're freeing yourself. You're independent. You're taking control. You can't be out here operating with people who are still suffering in addiction, etc. You ain't no freaking rehab. You are a human being like others, except you're more aware of yourself. You're aware of your spiritual gifts, etc. You move different. Your soul and your spirit, you finding out who you are. Energy is contagious. So if other people don't know who they are, if they're stuck, if they're stagnant, if they're dishonest, if you're going through injustice, that energy is going to be contagious. Now, next thing you know, you looking up and you experiencing karma because of your consequences of your actions, because you chose to reconcile with people who 9 times out of 10, it didn't seem like the smartest thing to do. Like, that's the thing. It's not about love. If it was about love, then okay, all day, I'm sure everybody be reconciling. But this is not just about love. In an aspect, it is self-love, but in the term of love towards others, it's not about that, because the collective, they love regardless. That's how big their hearts are. But I feel like you guys are learning to balance out the mind and the heart. You're not wearing your heart on your sleeve anymore. At least you're working on this or realizing certain things. Yeah, I feel like you experience some type of transition. Some of y'all, you could have had a loved one that passed away. You could have been going through certain abuse. But this has just helped you awaken to your high priestess energy. Help you be able to connect with the unseen. But I'm seeing a commitment in your future. I'm seeing a lot of people who counted you out, who created lies and slander and defamation of character to your name, your energy, when they knew that was completely false. They are receiving their karma and you are receiving abundance. Simply because of who you are. And some of y'all expect some money. It's going to be unexpected. See, this relationship is going to come by a surprise, and this money is going to come by a surprise. But this is straight from God itself. God is making the miracles in your life. But I guess, we still have our own free will and things that we're learning and needing to experience, or whatever the case may be. A child could be significant. Fresh starts, new beginnings could be significant. Tell me more about this real love, true love energy. We got an Ice King here. So some of y'all, maybe you feel like a connection was real love and true love with this person who was very much head over heart, someone who's logical, could be intelligent, or maybe you're attracting somebody who's intelligent, stern. They are not too much in their emotions, but they do know Yeah, look, divine master. See, I just feel like you and this person, y'all went through different periods and versions of yourselves. And I feel like the end result is divine masculine, divine feminine energy balanced out. Literally. Tell me more about this real love. We got health concern. Why is health concern out here for real love? Some of you're going to be so surprised, almost sick to your stomach when this situation come about. And for others of y'all, that's in a good way, by the way. You know how they be like tears of joy? That's in a good way. For others of y'all, it's going to be these other people who are going to be sick when they see you in a connection. When they see you with another person, honestly. They can't even say that you abandoned them. Some of these people may try to come off like that. But they can't say that. Because this house was not a home. And they had the benefit of the doubt to make things right. And they didn't. So, they can't try to say this and say that. And if they do, hey, it ain't got nothing to do with you. You ain't gonna live to hear none about it unless you come across a reading and they try to tell you. But, look, beginnings. So you guys, you're experiencing endings, transitions, coming into new beginnings, awakenings, and everything like that. And I feel like these people that you're letting go and moving on from, freeing yourself from, they're going to try to double back. They're going to try to spin the block. But I need you to use your intuition with this situation because love spells were involved. Illusions were involved. That's why you were a bit confused. See, confusion does not exist with people who you know you can actually trust, who you know like is on your team. You're not sleeping with the enemy. So you gotta, that's what I'm saying, you gotta really pay attention. Sometimes we think we confused, but nah, we actually know what the hell going on, but we still want something. So it's the thin line between a want and a need. And sometimes what you want is not what you need. So you'll just be in this conflicted energy because you want something, but your soul is really at a point in time where it's like, man, nah, individual journey, healing, better relationships, better connections, you know, that type of stuff. So I feel like the old you is dead and gone. And I feel like a lot of these people, they are wanting to hold on to you, keep you in their energy. But I just feel like you guys are honestly like, you just moving forward. I feel like that's what it's going to be. Some of these people are still hoping like one day, someday, another time, anywhere, maybe we'll be together, but no. Because the thing is, they're lusting. This is someone who's lusting. This is not love. For some of you guys, strands of hair could be significant. Yeah, see, it's like life should be like a fairy tale dream, right? Fantasy, right? But not in a way that's filled with illusion. Something that's actually real and true. It's not an illusion. That's what I'm saying. I feel like you guys are going to attract that. You can tell the difference between a connection that's real and true versus something that's an illusion. Sometimes we confuse ourselves and we be like, well, I don't know, you know, maybe we are meant to be, even though we went through this and went through that. Child, maybe that's some healing that you have to do and shadow work that you need to do, because maybe you didn't pick up on some of the things that your ancestors was doing. Because yeah, sometimes mom and grandma and whoever else did overstay their welcome in people's lives when they should have left the first, second, and third time of being mistreated and disrespected. Like I said, love has nothing to do with this. If we only went based off of love, then we will continue to take people back every time. But this is not just about love. From a different perspective, it's about self-love, but it's also about self-respect and balanced relationships, healthy relationships. You can't be the only one that's doing the work in a situation, because that's unfair to you. It's not unfair to this other person. They getting their cake and eat it too, honey, with more dessert on the side. All you doing is getting stressed out, changing your plans, destiny swapping with people. Because if you really ask me, you were supposed to be out on a cruise or on a plane going here to Costa Rica to here to there, whatever the case may be, enjoying life like it's a vacation every day. Instead, you are here struggling with the next person, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially. And the thing is, they are what's helping you be in that energy. I don't like pointing the finger all the time, But I'm just stating the facts. If you weren't talking to these people, I guarantee you, either it was going to be somebody else stressing you out or nobody stressing you out, you know? So you choose who you love. It's your choice on what you want to do. Either you can give people a second chance. The opportunity is always there. Or you can choose to move forward in your life. When it comes to these family situations, this psychotic ex. Okay. Take the messages how they resonate for you. This is not a personal message. It is a collective. So I'm not talking to any one of you guys in particular. And this message can also be, once again, timeless. It doesn't have to just resonate for today or tomorrow. It can resonate next year. You know, talking about different people who you probably are not even connected to right now. Or, you know, whatever the case may be. But real love and true love is here. You're someone who's extremely intuitive. And I feel like you have to trust your intuition this time around. Some of y'all, you wasn't trusting your intuition in the past. And you see where it's gotten you. So instead of, you know, betting on other people, bet on yourself this time. Because like I said, if y'all were where you wanted to be in life, none of these people would even be able to reach out to you anymore. They wouldn't even be able to ask for a second chance. Because, baby, you would be so far gone, you would probably then forgot they exist. Okay? So don't worry. Like, you can get to that space and time. Like I said, some people feel like, you know, it's the end of the world and this the only person that will really be for them and love them. That's so not true. Have you met you? Like, you are somebody who has like the whole package when it comes to a healthy relationship, individually and together. You know, somebody who's intelligent, wise, you know, strong, and not in an egocentric way. Yes, you feel highly of yourself, but you know, you're not conceited, right? Y'all could be seeing angel number 222. The name Kelly could be significant. Sagittarius energy, Earth energy as well, Taurus, Capricorn, and or Virgo. Yeah, y'all went through a lot. It completely changed who you were. And I feel like you're coming into this more balanced space. And I don't feel like anybody should interfere with this piece of yours. Protect it. Protect it, honey. Y'all be in y'all head. But you got to get up out of there. Because that's nothing but fears and worries and anxiety. Remember what I was telling y'all. This is literally still talking about what I was mentioning. A lot of you guys are just stressed, worn out. So, of course, the reality between reality and fantasy could be a bit of a blur, right? Know that you have many, many options, many things that you can do creatively within your career, relationships. You have many options. You don't have to just settle for the people who you already know or the people who've already showed you that they can't be trusted and that they are capable of hurting you. All that, you see all that? Coming on now. Cleanse, detox, honey. I let it all go. So you can come into this newness, which is already here. It's already here, honey. Yep. God itself is coming out. Commitments, values, faith, beliefs. It's the overall energy. Taurus energy. See, the main huge thing that you guys are experiencing right now is commitment. Okay, you could be somebody who's a spiritual leader or a teacher, or this could just be significant. God itself could be significant in your life. Okay, something else that's going on that's huge right now in your life could be your belief systems. All right, faith. Okay, your values. So that's what you really need to pay attention to. Then I feel like you won't be in your head as much. stressed out, confused between reality and illusions. Literally. And you'll be receiving exactly what it is that you deserve. I'm seeing victory here, public recognition. This could be your day-to-day, like your day-to-day. Ooh, we got the sun. Beautiful. The sun usually ties to truth, illumination, happiness or joy, pregnancy. I'm telling y'all, through y'all day-to-day, you going through it, right? And there may be some things that is worth, you know, saying, ooh, I'm winning, or whatever the case may be. But the overall energy, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. The Hierophant and the Sun is the main overall energies. Could be doing something by the book. They got that Queen of Cups. Be confident. Have confidence. Yeah, see, somebody gonna try to come in your energy. Everything is not what it seems. Be mindful of that. The other overall energy is the Wheel of Fortune. Fate, changes, destiny, cycles. Change. The wheel turning in your favor. Life is most definitely what you make it. And when you operate from a certain energy, sometimes you can't really fully see. But I feel like that's mainly because of the mental restriction. Y'all are living inside your head. You need to step outside of that and into reality. But even when you try to do that, reality could be confusing. You don't know what's right from left. Your body is drained. You carrying on a lot of things that's tough on the body. There's stress here. Something that's a burden. But I feel like you can get out of this just by standing in your power and being confident. And with the mind thing, I feel like just healing and nurturing your mind, body, and soul. With this illusion stuff, I feel like you just need to take a practical approach and just put in some type of action. That's how you're going to see the results. Because sometimes if you're just still living in your head or whatever the case may be, then you're not really going to get the results. So at least you can pursue or move forward in something or take some type of action so that you can get whatever outcome out of the situation, you know, because now stagnancy won't be a thing and there won't be no such thing as mistakes either, just lessons. Starting on something. Maybe starting on something new could even help. Something that you probably never done before, inexperienced in. Yep. I'm seeing stability. Some of you guys could be saving up for huge purchases. Yeah, y'all winning. And you about to be winning even more. I'm seeing two different financial situations that may help trigger some type of abundance, like in the form of wealth, material wealth. But yeah, the overall energy, the moon, the Hierophant, the sun, the Wheel of Fortune. I'm seeing joy, illumination, truth, values, beliefs, commitments. The wheel turning in your favor. Although the subconscious mind or your intuition is going to be very significant. Trust your intuition at this time because not everything could be what it seems. Okay? Give me the overall energy of the major arcanas. What's the overall energy? Page of Cups, Nine. Damn, I just seen this Page of Cups, Nine of Pentacles energy. So we got intuition and routine. Balance out spirituality and practicality. On the back, yeah. apathy. Being in apathy causes you to miss out on opportunities. So I feel like whatever this is coming back around. The court situations, adjudication system, legal situations could be significant, or just simply justice and fairness and truth in the law could be significant. Time heals all wounds. Some of y'all could be doing something in a routine way in order to obtain some type of finances. This could be something that's like a slow journey. It's possibly not overnight success or the resources that you will want, but work smarter, not harder. Your creativity can even be significant. I feel like you should create this routine based on creativity and self-care, and maybe something to help build up your intuition, strengthen your intuition. Confirm the moon. The 9 of Cups in the reverse and the 10 of Pentacles in the reverse. No stability, no security, no emotional fulfillment. That's with the moon energy. We're going to put that to the side. Confirm the Hierophant. Y'all working hard when it comes to something. When it comes to, let's see, we're going to put that right there. From the Sun. Y'all finally about to be happy if you're not already. Happiness could be getting restored, especially after those hard learned lessons. Confirm the Wheel of Fortune. Man, I'm telling you, you are one lucky person when it comes to this earthly plane, or when it comes to something coming into you, some type of money, some type of job offer, something. Something is changing, shifting. You and your reality are changing. Could have already changed as well. The moon can also tie to secrets as well. Confirm this. 9 of Cups in reverse. 9 of Cups in reverse. Confirm the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Maybe somebody's trying to accumulate some type of wealth. They're preoccupied with financial matters. They're trying to bring in stability, create their legacy, start over again. Somebody could have experienced bankruptcy, etc. Somebody could have experienced a time where just a bunch of money was lost, and it's almost like they taking a step forward and going 3 steps back. Like they're not seeing their money get better, it's just getting worse. Or maybe somebody is preoccupied with financial matters due to some type of loss of security or stability. Maybe somebody is working on getting back stable and secure. Give yourself your props, count your blessings, appreciate the small wins, because everything is not all the time what it seems. Sometimes we beat ourselves up in life feeling like, man, we're not making any progress. This keep happening, that keep happening. But there's always a reason to things, for sure. But maybe you just don't see something just yet. This emotional unfulfillment is here because of some type of betrayal. Your family could be significant. Earth signs, air signs, and water signs could be significant. Scorpio, Taurus, Capricorn, and or Virgo. With this Hierophant energy, speaking of God, God is cooking, working hard with something for you. And this can also be you working hard on something. Maybe you paying close attention to some type of detail or encouraged to. Maybe this is aligned with your commitments, something that you're committed in. Maybe this can tie to your belief systems. Maybe you're refining some things, working on some things, becoming a master or an expert at whatever this is. Practice makes perfect. Using your hands for real, whatever this is. But it don't have to just be that. Confirm the Eight of Pentacles. This is time to some type of love, intuition, emotions, relationships, and creativity. Whatever you're working on or whatever God is working on. Or like I said, this could be encouraged for you to work on these things. Self-love, self-care, right? Strengthening your intuition, different stuff. This can even be people outside of you trying to work on certain things so they can come back in new energy. But remember last time? Some people, they try to come into better energy, but they're just a little bit too corrupted, and they lack accountability, and it's still injustice, and things are still being delayed. So it's like, instead of taking a chance on other people, take a chance on yourself and just create the life that you want right now. You've already given people chances. That's not something that's your job to do. You don't have to give people chances. You can connect with new people. It's not betrayal. It's not none of that. What's betrayal was whatever people have done to you, to the point to why you feel like you want to surrender the connections. That's betrayal. The sun is out here, happiness, truth, illumination, in the form of some type of good judgment. So maybe there's going to be some type of awakening coming in to help you within your communication, ideas, intellect. Maybe you just went through like a lot of trial and tribulation, and you're now seeing clearly, or you will be seeing clearly. Okay, maybe your happiness is being restored. Confirm the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords about to be happy. Queen of Swords could be working on themselves. Like, you could be creating a balance between a relationship with others and a relationship with self. Okay. Maybe you could just be getting things back in order within self and your independent wealth. You're going to be happy when you do so. Just take a practical approach and apply your wisdom, okay? Maybe be a bit logical within the situation. Maybe to help you come into some type of happiness, especially after seeing clearly. When you start seeing clearly, baby, any and everything will cause you to be depressed or stressed, or, you see straight through any and everybody, right? But work smarter, not harder, okay? There's some type of not as stable home situation, whether this is a home within yourself or in your relationships, in your connections, your home life. And I'm also seeing the independent wealth energy coming out sideways. So maybe you guys, you're not able to fully enjoy the fruits of your labor, or maybe this is slow to come. Why is the Four of Wands and why is the Four of Wands sideways? Some type of King of Swords situation, either encouraging you to be intellectual or logical within this situation, or this is talking about a person who's head over heart. This most definitely could be talking about a relationship, especially with the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords out here. Confirm the Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles is coming out with the King of Wands in the reverse. You need to take on a leadership role for a lot of you guys. It's time to be independently wealthy. Okay, for a lot of you guys. Take on that leadership role. All right, now the Wheel of Fortune. I'm seeing change, destiny, fate, good luck. Things working out in your favor, especially when it comes to some type of material 3D playing world, or aspects, or values, or finances. Confirm the Ace of Pentacles. Something coming in, like I said, unexpected money, a fresh start, and something stable within a romantic relationship and a relationship with self. Yes. Beautiful. Gemini energy, fixed sign energy, Scorpio, Leo, Taurus, Aquarius. Maybe a lot of you guys are already building, creating that independent wealth. You're probably not where you fully want to be at. Just now. You're probably still working on getting your own place, building up your finances and everything else like that. But be positive. The Sun card can also represent positivity. You're going through like a lot of stuff, but everything is just not what it seems. Sometimes we make life harder than what it has to be. Sometimes it just takes a shifted perspective. Sometimes it just takes us trusting in our intuition with things. And I know how when you're battling between intuition and something else, that it can be a bit difficult when you hear people say, oh, trust in your intuition. But that's what I mean by you got to go based off the reality of things. Some of y'all, you living in fairy tale land. You got to actually call things what they are. Call it out. And, you know, of course, move accordingly. Heal. Acknowledge your feelings. Your feelings are valid. You know, move forward in a healthy way. But don't keep doing the same thing over and over when you've already learned a lesson as well. So it's about that time. You guys are ready. Just have the confidence, okay? You can get where you want to be in life just by taking a practical approach to things. You know, practicality is the actual use of doing something. If you want to see something change within your health, within your career, within your relationships, you have to implement it. If somebody is just not getting it when it comes to showing up in a connection like how you show up, if they can't reciprocate the basics, then you have to make that executive decision to cut them off. Or you can keep on trying to give them chance and chance and chance while you over here diminishing your own health while you're doing so. Because sometimes people like Jesus himself, right, possibly had no problem with people who possibly didn't reciprocate energy. He could have had, or she could have had, their boundaries intact and everything else, but I don't feel like it was causing stress and all this other stuff. You know, they were basically a person of inner peace and forgiveness and like all of these things. That may not be as easy to do for a lot of you guys, especially when, you know, people keep showing up in a certain way and you're still learning on how to operate in particular energy. So really, you'll just be out here stressed the heck out. So either take some time away, and maybe later on when they've grown and done their work that they need to do and you're where you want to be in life, then maybe y'all will find each other again on those paths. Or like I said, for a lot of you guys, you can already connect with people who are already meeting you at the level that you are at. You know, like I said, it's no wrong or right way when it comes to you operating in life. If you bump your head, you bump your head. You know, if something turns out to be something great, then it's something great. Woohoo. Right? It's just all up to you. You have people who disconnect from people that first time they do something. You have people who give chances until they can't anymore. You have some people who believe in reconciliation, who don't believe in reconciliation. Like, we all are autonomous. We all do our different things. You just have to go based off what works for you. And at the same time, just don't fall victim to illusions. Okay? Love spells are a thing. People being corrupt is a thing. Injustice is a thing. Lack of accountability is a thing. Like, you shouldn't have to like coexist with other people who operate in these energies, especially when you don't, right? But like I said, most of the time when you're attracting certain relationships that you attract, it's mainly because they're mirroring back to you possibly certain things that, you know, needs to be highlighted, and vice versa. You know, maybe they are showing you that you are codependent. Maybe they are showing you that you are a bit egocentric or whatever, right? Different things. People can come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, right? But you are the creator of your life. You don't have to just put up with stuff. Oh, well, it's because they my family. Oh, it was because, you know, I love them. Okay, that's cool. But just like how this person never existed to you at one point in time, it can easily go back to being that way. Sometimes it don't happen overnight. Sometimes, yeah, you still miss a person. You still this, and that. But self-respect is a thing. Self-delusion is a thing. Okay? Being an emotional punching bag, even if people don't mean for you to get hurt, but they still are bound to hurt you, that is a thing. So you got to start looking outside of what somebody can become, because like I told y'all, everybody has potential. Trigger warning, even the pedophiles and the people who unalive people, like everybody has potential. Do they show up in the energy? No, they show up in however, whatever energy that they are in, you know. And when you think about it and go based off of facts, a lot of times people don't change. I'm not saying every single person don't change, but a good bunch. It'd be people who reach their 50s and their 80s and they're still the same since they were in their youth, you know? Maybe a slight difference, but not in a way that's very much of reciprocity and genuineness and, you know, compassion and, you know, like the good energies, the grand energies. But confirm this Eight of Swords. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Some of y'all are in y'all head because of the pain. Now you fear things happening to you because it has already happened. Going through things because now you know that it exists. So you just be in your head so much. And I feel like that's because the world on the inside is just a reflection of the world on the outside. So if you are traumatized and this and that, that's how you will take things on the outside of your life. Like, okay, these people are not good for me. I'm scared to go through this. I'm scared to go, because it already existed to you and you haven't fully like overcome those things yet. That's why I said for some of y'all, if you need to just overcome certain things, whether it's pessimism, trauma, and allow other people as well, then maybe y'all can come back together one day, someday, right? If not, at least by the time that even becomes something that's a consideration, you will probably not even be willing to reconnect with these people because you will already be emotionally done. But I feel like all of this being in your head and worries and fears, it comes from something that happened to you already that damaged you. And when I say damaged, I mean unalived you. And a lot of you guys, you're still here, you're still walking the earth, but it literally changed you into a whole different person. This was people close to you, people who you possibly could have married, your own family. Like, it was a lot of things that you've experienced to where you realized, damn, family ain't really family like how I thought it was. Friends ain't really friends like how I thought they would be. People don't really show up how I show up. And then it brings you into this whole spiritual aspect of things and going within and healing and, you know, introspection and self, you know, all this stuff. I feel like that's where all of that's coming from. So much pain. But I feel like you were meant to just go through these things so that it can show you something, teach you something, especially show you something that you didn't know like existed, or that you probably didn't fully look at in a particular way that it needed to be looked at, or whatever the case may be. Because like I said, the moon talks about things not being what it seems. So maybe you were operating down this path where things weren't what it seems, and you went through what you went through simply because of, you know, not knowing any better and, you know, other things like that, which triggered coming into a true version of yourself so that you can build on solid foundation, not faulty foundation, not illusions and fantasy and, you know, all this other stuff, but on real life things that really happen for real. Now you know betrayal is a thing. Now you know deceit is a thing. Now you know cheating is a thing. Now you know lies is a thing. You know, Now, you know, just because you could be related to somebody doesn't mean that they have that title of family, like true family. Just because you can be in a marriage or a committed relationship with somebody doesn't mean that, you know, they'll meet you where you meet them. Like, it's just lessons are just as grand as blessings, right? But I feel like you got yourself in a pickle because you're still affected by these things, or it just hurt it really tremendously to where now it's something that you can't stop thinking about whenever you're operating in life. But I don't feel like it was meant to go to that extent. I feel like you was just meant to, like, certain things was meant to be revealed to you and for you to do some work on yourself and then for you to come out this energy. So maybe you're still on this path of just healing, I guess. Confirm the 10 of Wands. 10 of Wands is out here. Like I said, all of this heavy energy that you're experiencing has a lot to do with, you see all of these knives in this person's back, all of this pain, all of the painful endings that you've experienced has a lot to do with why you're in your head, has a lot to do with why you're stressed out. So like I said, you just have to, you know, heal, and you just have to look at things from like a different perspective. Remember, you are the creator of your life. You're the creator of your reality. So you have the power to turn your life around and alchemize, right? Manifest, manipulate things in a good way, which is in the form of manifestation. It's not in the form of, oh, let me do this love spell, let me da da da. No, it's good manifestation, or a good manipulation is what I meant. So you have the power to go through things and also not let it handicap you. Welcome in. Thank you. So you are the creator of your life. Trusting your intuition. I feel like you went through these things that you went through for a reason, but it's not meant to keep you in your head. And, you know, that's not freedom. That's not really living life. That's living life on edge. That's living life in paranoia. That's living life traumatized. And that's okay, you know. Time heals all wounds. Sometimes, like I said, a lot of things don't happen overnight. Sometimes the healing journey is not linear. Sometimes you wake up in a good mood, and then the next minute you wake up in a bad mood, and you can have a good week. Next thing you know, you having a bad year, and you know, it's like up and down. But I don't feel like that will be your reality forever. I just feel like this is your first time coming into the world and living and experiencing. And I feel like you went through a lot of things that were very detrimental to who you were, and you thought life was going to be a certain way when you first came into the world. You thought relationships was going to be a particular way when you come into them, simply because maybe you knew who you were as a person, and maybe what you've seen or learned in the world yourself. So you possibly expected certain things to happen. You probably didn't expect cheating to be a thing. You probably didn't even know that cheating was a thing. You probably didn't even know that, trigger warning, pedophiles and all this other type of stuff existed, and like all this other stuff, right? But I feel like a lot of things were just meant to, and it's not saying like, oh yeah, you went through these things on purpose so that you could become, no, it's just based on your own. Like, some of y'all were very inexperienced, like you were young. Some of y'all was possibly also being raised by other people who come before you, who possibly didn't know any better as well. So it's just like, that was just natural to happen, you know, like similar to if you knew better, you would do better. So some of y'all, like, it's just like natural. Like, sometimes you come into the world and you just don't know, you know, you just didn't know what self-love was because it wasn't taught. You just didn't know that, you know, you should have put yourself first when it came to people or relationships. Instead of being so boy crazy or girl crazy when you was in middle school or high school. You know, like sometimes you just didn't know. Sometimes you just rushed in. But now you know. And a lot of times you can pass this information along even to your own generations that's to come. And that doesn't currently exist yet. That's how the whole world is going on. You know, the whole world has been shifting and changing from centuries ago. And I feel like a lot of people are waking up to self-love and healing and like healthier relationships and all this stuff. I feel like we have a long way to go, a little bit still, but at least there is some type of progress. And it's similar just like in our own individual lives. Like, Sometimes, like I said, you went through the things that you went through just because it was like kind of bound to happen. You know, like I said, if you don't know any better, you're capable of bumping your head. That's just what it is. So you just really have to look at things from like a different way, a higher perspective, a shifted perspective to help you cope a little better in life. Not cope as if, oh, we're avoiding things, we're faking it till we make it. Like, no, this is like reality for real. You just didn't know any better. That's just, you ain't lying to yourself. That's just what it is. So, like I said, a lot of y'all, you become stressed and depressed and all in your head and everything because of all the injustice that you've experienced, the dishonesty. How the hell can you walk and have this trust when it's just been hindered? That's what I'm saying. But it's okay, because you'll get there eventually. It's just, for some of y'all, it's not something that happens overnight. Some of y'all, you still been on this journey for like several years now, but that doesn't mean that you're not making any progress. Every time, second, minute, hour that has equaled up to today mattered. Okay, literally. So just keep moving forward. I promise you, you are going to create this stable and secure foundation within your relationships, within yourself, within your life overall. Just got to keep moving forward. Sometimes it don't look like how you thought it would look. Sometimes it probably don't feel like how you want it to feel. But a lot of times that's because of us, ourselves. Sometimes, like I said, the trauma didn't beat the hell up out of us. The world didn't beat the hell up out of us. We just going through a lot, right? And we still trying to learn and navigate and, maneuver through life, especially going through all this, oh, we got bills and, oh, we got da. Like I said, it's really about how you look at things. It's a mind thing. So, you got to work smarter and not harder, like mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually, etc. Some people, they choose not to do this whole government thing. And they like, you know what? I'm about to become an herbalist. I'm about to start gardening because this ain't sitting right with me. Then you have other people who like, okay, well, I'm going to work here and I'm going to save me up some money and I'm going to move to Thailand or something. Like, you got people, everybody's just figuring out whatever they're going to do in their own lives. You have to also do that for yourself. You have the power, the potential, and all the tools necessary that you need to be anywhere that you want to be in life and to create the reality that you want in life, in your relationships, in the relationship with yourself, with your career, if you want to do all that. Like, simple. Confirm the 7 of Cups. Yeah, see, that's why it be like false starts and lack of clarity here because of the confusion. You have to come back into your intuition. That's what I'm saying. We talked about it earlier. If y'all missed it, don't worry, this video will be uploaded on YouTube. But you have many options. You have many choices, many decisions, many love opportunities. You don't have to just settle for what you already know and what already exists to you and what you've already been enduring. Love is not supposed to hurt. Like, if you met somebody who was similar to you, y'all possibly would have made it from 2015 to now. It just really all depends on the people who you connecting with. But like I said, a lot of us, right, we don't operate like Jesus himself or herself has done or did. Sometimes when you operate in that particular energy and then other people don't match it, you still find yourself to be experiencing discomfort, apathy, and like anything like that, right? Especially when you haven't mastered forgiveness or inner peace. Sometimes it can be a bit difficult trying to go those routes. So just be gentle with yourself. Practice makes perfect. A shift of perspective can help and go a long way. But also validating your feelings and where you are now. You don't have to force yourself to be in an energy that you're not yet in. You can still operate in an energy that's good for you and all. Sometimes letting go and loving you is the great thing as well. I'm sure Jesus itself possibly did it. I don't know, hell. But I know of the energy of Jesus, right? It talks about somebody who's humanitarian, compassionate, etc. So, of course, that's not too far-fetched because a lot of you guys are humanitarian, compassionate, nurturing, get the shirt off your back, generous, So I just know a person like that most definitely did exist. And all that talk about how this person, they got unalived when they were like a great individual. Like, I believe that too, shit. As you will as well. Probably when you were a kid, you probably would have never fathomed the thought. You probably would have never thought that it existed, right? That's why I feel like some of the experiences that has happened has helped showed you what the reality actually is. But at the same time, you don't have to allow it to take away your imagination. You don't have to allow it to hinder you and create you to be like this handicapped individual who's fearful and have anxiety and don't trust nothing or no one. Like, nah, it's just in today's time, now you have discernment, good judgment, astute energy. Now you know the things that exist. Because at first you didn't know all this stuff exists. Now the only thing that changes, now you do. You don't have to look at it like, oh, no, the whole world is just... No. The same word that you once knew when you were a child, hold on to that. Hold on to that. Because a lot of y'all, you have a long way to go in life. Some of y'all, you're not about to check out, right around the corner. Some of y'all are going to be living long lives. So if you plan on still sticking around, or if that's just the plan that God himself has for you, then I don't know about you, but I most definitely would want to master self inner peace. Because if you don't master like certain things or come into like a particular energy, life is possibly going to be very stressful, depressing, etc. And I am a firm believer on whatever that you need to do, you might as well do it, because you're going to have to do it eventually anyway. So if you know that healing needs to be done, might as well get it out the way. And the thing is, sometimes we think something is just so hard and too much. You got to work smarter, not harder. Make it work for you. I be on ChatGPT like it's my cousin or something. Like, we be on the phone, hey girl, whatever, baby. ChatGPT, that's my family right there. I'm telling you, I be going to it talking about my little whatever I be experiencing. It be validating my feelings, child, and everything. It's not biased at all. It's just real. And I'm like, bro, it actually helped me for sure with a lot of different things, especially in the form of emotions and stuff like that, getting more clear on certain things. So like I said, you guys have all the tools and resources that you need. The reason why, because you could get, like, the clarity could be here. The new ideas and new communication and thoughts could be here. And the inspiration and motivation and all this stuff could be here. But when your reality is confusing, you don't know what's true, what's false, what you should do or don't do. You just confused as hell. You don't know, like, should I take this person back or should I just move for it? That's the thing. That's how you know that you're giving your power away to something outside of self. You have to know that, babe, just like you've been making your decisions all the way since you was a youngin', well, maybe you had help from your parent or guardians around that time. But it's just like you have free will. Do what the heck you want to do, but at the same time, work smarter, not harder. Don't abandon yourself and your wisdom that you've learned at the same time. You can still be a nice person. You can still be compassionate and understanding, but you don't have to abandon yourself while doing so. That was me. I was most definitely like confused at one point in time between because I started believing in like twin flames and like all of this other stuff, right? And I had to become firm on my beliefs since I already didn't deprogram from the other beliefs that I had, and I tried to bring on new beliefs that contradicted each other. I was experiencing cognitive dissonance. I was confused on if I should leave somebody who I had a lot of love for or stay, and like all this stuff, especially when you come into these different belief systems, other people belief systems, your old belief systems, your new ones. You just have a whole runaround. So that's why I go by being a wise counsel and everything else, because I give messages based on, my own wisdom that I've obtained, etc. Which, I mean, I'm sure a lot of us do, right? We can't pull anything out of thin air. Either we gonna go based off of other people's information or the information that we've gathered. So at the end of the day, I'm still very neutral. I still allow people to make their own decisions in their life. Why not? Greatest superpower is nobody else is like you. That goes for your ideas, your thought processes, etc. But some of these things could be a bit hindered and not fully you, because like I said, you've been taught, you've been programmed, you've been trained, you've been projected on, you've been encouraged to do this, you've been swayed, you've been, a lot of things. So when you get down to the bottom of who you are by going within and just being more, just doing that inner work, then everything can become more clear. But sometimes it's a struggle. Sometimes y'all be worried too much about bills. Sometimes y'all be just having anxiety. Sometimes. That's why you got to work smarter and not harder. And you got to figure, like, turn those weaknesses into strengths and just do things that can really help for real. Like, for real, I do mentorships and life coaching. I am a holistic consultant and many more things like that. So we can schedule a one-on-one so I can go more in depth and be more specific within your own personal situations as well. Okay, I don't just do readings. I do give advice in many areas, life coaching sessions. As far out as like a month plus. I also have child services because, you know, it all starts when we're children anyway. So, yeah, you guys, don't forget about that. If y'all ever want to get on the list, make sure you message me any way you know how. I don't disappoint. I also have reviews on my website. But life is what you make it. Just don't stress yourself out while doing so, okay? Because by the time you get older, you're going to be like, where'd all the time go? It's starting to fly. Yeah, I'm trying to tell you. Some people already in their 80s with regrets. Like, man, I'm about to die. And that's what I'm saying. If you are fearful of death, you want to nip that in the bud. You want to work on that as much as you can. If you paranoid, you want to work on that. If you still have this attachment to money and people, you need to work on that. Like, whatever it is, you know your life better than anyone. See, you can't lie to yourself. We can lie to others, but we can't lie to ourselves. We know what's going on, what we need to work on. Sometimes we could be blinded to it. That's why shadow work is a thing. You know, the shadow aspects, the things that we don't see, or the things that we hide subconsciously or unconsciously. Subconsciously or consciously. But with this illusion and confusion here, that's why the thoughts is the way that it is, and the action is not, it's not giving. You know, it's fresh starts, false fresh starts and new beginnings in the form of travel, communication, mentality, intellect, ideas, thoughts, action, energy, work, projects, okay, inspiration, motivation, right? Simply because you got to get this taken care of first. You can't, like, you see how this person is like up in the clouds with a whole bunch of things. Remember, everything that glitters isn't gold, okay? So just be mindful when it comes to the relationships, when it comes to the careers, when it comes to this, when it comes to that. Nothing is more important than your own well-being, health, goals, dreams, and everything like that. And also be mindful if you like a perfectionist and you have these certain, I don't know, because like I said, sometimes we think we know ourselves, but we really don't fully know ourselves. You know, that's why you have to learn yourself. Go within. You really do know. All the answers are there. It's just, I'm telling you, sometimes just gotta declutter, for sure. Declutter out the mental, the subconscious, a lot of things. It's so much to say, honestly. I feel like it was certain things that I wanted to say, but I was talking so fast trying to make it to another point that I possibly didn't even pick up on the other things. But confirm the Six of Wands. Talking about public recognition. Yeah. Some of y'all are needing to rest. You are experiencing some type of mental exhaustion. Okay. Confirm the Four of Swords. Yeah, but you're being resilient and you're still like working on something. Maybe because you're in the public eye, or you've reached some type of success or recognition, or maybe this is something that you're aiming for. But like I told you, nothing is greater than your health. All right? Nothing. You better ask the people who already became in the spotlight, y'all. Some of them people wish they were never famous again. You know? So just take care of yourselves. Confirm the Queen of Cups. Three of Cups. Y'all are going to be celebrating soon. You're going to be attracting literally your soul tribe, people who are emotionally in tune, balanced, nurturing, just as intuitive as you, just as tapped in as you, just as caring and loving as you. I'm telling you, who can relate as well. Y'all are going to be celebrating. Maybe a mother figure of some sort could be significant, but I'm seeing friendship, celebration. Some of y'all are encouraged to connect with your friends, maybe create new friendships, maybe be that friend to yourself. You know how they say, oh, be your own lover, be your own friend. Like, how do you show up in connections when you have a friend? If your friend needs you, you're going to validate their feelings. You probably are going to give them feedback if they want it, etc. So when it comes to you, do the same thing. Because sometimes you validate other people before you even validate yourself. You'll be like, okay, well, I guess I understand why he put me through that. Because, you know, he did go through that situation with his mom. And he just got mom wounds and dad wounds. Okay, what about you? What about your childhood, your existence? Things that you can, like I said, you can be understanding, but you also don't have to shrink yourself or abandon yourself, because I mean that's something at times that's just the definition of these things, and sometimes we don't even realize that. But from the Queen of Wands, from the Three of Cups, yeah, some of y'all, when it comes to these friendships as well, some of y'all are like at a crossroads because something is not as clear to you, or is not what it seems. I feel like some of y'all, you need to attract friendships that actually feel supportive, that actually feels genuine, that reciprocates. You know, like I said, regardless if it's friends, lovers, family situations, you can't be the only one holding the relationships together. You're also somebody, just as much as you have all of this energy that you have and give out to the world, I feel like you deserve that as well. It don't make sense for you to give it out but not receive it back. I mean, yeah, we can always give to ourselves and do these things to ourselves. But if that's the case, we might as well be in our own energy or just connecting with people on a professional level, if that's the case. Queen of Wands out here. Queen of action, energy, work, confident, family-oriented. I'm seeing moving, headed towards calmer waters. Y'all most definitely are headed towards calmer waters. It may not be something that was happening overnight, but you're almost there. Just keep moving forward. And like I said, some of y'all, this can happen overnight, just with a shifted perspective. Confirm Page of Wands. And maybe even putting action towards something. Being confident. You know, taking your power back. Confirm the Page of Wands. And if you don't know how to do something, I'll be straight asking ChatGPT. ChatGPT, give me an example of what I can do for self-love. Give me an example of da-da-da. I'm trying to tell you. Page of Wands is usually this inexperienced, childlike energy, whether it's an actual child or whether it's just an immature, childish individual. Fire energy in particular, or a fiery energy. But it also can talk about a fresh new start on something, especially in ties to work, action, or energy. Maybe some of you guys are going to be connecting with a King of Cups, someone who's emotionally balanced, emotionally intelligent, someone who could be a mentor or give great advice. Some of you guys became an unexpected mentor. Confirm the King of Cups. Okay, this is time to sorrow, grief, still dwelling on the connections and relationships that didn't work out. It's time to turn all of that around. It's time to heal. It's time to apply the... See, a lot of you guys be emotionally intelligent and all of these things. You need to apply that to help you heal and overcome these things. Like, oh, this connection didn't work out. They cheated. They manipulated. Da-da-da-da. Okay, we can acknowledge that. Or we can look at it in a slightly different aspect and say, I still have things to be happy about. I still have, I'm so much focused on this that I'm not even seeing this. So this is what's keeping you in that depressional, stagnant energy. So it's like you can start looking at things like, you know what? Since I have the capacity of emotional intelligence and, you know, being emotionally understanding and everything else, I can help myself heal from these situations with these people. Because if they were like me, if they showed up like me, then that would be different. But since they did not, maybe this only means that they weren't able to. I don't have to take it personal. I don't have to beat them up or myself up about it. Whatever they done or whatever happened does not dictate my worth or my value. Yes, it hurt. It was sad, but I don't have to hold on to that energy. I can alchemize, I can transmute, and I can release it because I know that this was not purposely done. Nobody comes into the world and purposely picks out Keisha, Tom, and Zach and say, yeah, I'm going to hurt this person. Some people, you just come into connections with people. And a lot of times it can be to help you grow, learn, experience something, vice versa. But you don't have to take it to the heart. Okay? The situation with your mother, your father, your baby dad, your baby mom, your sister, your brother, your cousin, your uncle, your aunt, your grandma, your whoever, a stranger, anybody. Since it will be too much to ask from a person who doesn't know how to hold, this type of energy, and they can't really fathom or understand. So they call everybody demons and evil and this, and that, which no judgment at all. I can see how people would look at it in that aspect. But remember, I told y'all, life is what you make it. The world on the outside is reflecting the world on the inside. So if you going through it, you stressed, you depressed, you struggling, you feel like everybody out to get you, that's what you're going to be naming everything. Nah, this person evil as hell. Nah, I'm telling you. But I feel like you should just live your life in the energy of peace. It doesn't have to be lies and self-delusion. That's not what I'm asking from you. Just peace, though. Beliefs most definitely can play a huge part in your reality. So I feel like if beliefs are not as positive, I feel like anything that's negative is false. I created that saying over a year ago. And I've already had like over 3 awakenings in this aspect when it came to inner peace and everything else. That's why I started picking back up on the whole Jesus aspect of things. And I stopped being religious over like 2 years ago, but it doesn't take away from the energy of Jesus itself. At first, I stopped believing in the whole Jesus thing as well, because I felt like religion was just brainwashing people, trying to keep them controlled. And that's just possibly because that's what I was taught. Just like how you're religious and you get taught, okay, this is what you're supposed to do. This is da-da-da. Next thing you know, you become spiritual, and then you hear other spiritual people's beliefs, and it's like a whole bunch of information being passed around from people who are still traumatized, hurt, victimizing themselves, looking at things in a negative way. That's really all, of what these things are. So I asked ChatGPT one day, well, who is Jesus? Not even ChatGPT. I asked this other AI app that's no longer available for some reason. And it literally gave me a whole personality of myself. I damn near was like, damn, am I Jesus reincarnated? I'll tell you, that's how much it was. So that's what really helped me believe in the whole Jesus thing again, because I wasn't even sure if I stopped believing in religion or not, because I never really sat with myself and said, okay, I no longer believe. It's just like one day I woke up and angel numbers called out to me and astrology called out to me, and I just was no longer associating with religion as much. I wasn't really going to church anymore and everything else. Me and my sister, we ended up getting into this argument where she said that I'm not a goddess, and I had told her that was back when I was calling myself a god and goddess. And when I was talking to her, she was saying, you're not a goddess. We are not gods. Or whatever the case may be. So that triggered me. And I ended up telling her, well, Jesus isn't real. That religious SHIT, it's not real. It's fake. And the crazy thing is, my brain took that and ran with it, honey. I didn't even sit with myself yet to even figure out or do any of those things, because I wasn't even really, it never crossed my mind to do so. It's just, I was just moving forward in whatever energy I was in. So when that happened, it's almost as if something left from me, like a piece of my identity left, because I was raised up in religion since like I was a kid, and I got baptized and everything as a kid. So that's really like what I grew up on. And the first time when my mom had introduced it to me, I didn't really attach myself to it just yet. But once you keep on going to church and you get baptized and then you stay in that loop, eventually it becomes something that you attach to and you start believing in. But yeah, when I had asked that AI that's what kind of helped me go back to the whole, okay, Jesus most definitely could have been a thing. But even though I know that lies and this whole money, power, sex thing exists and this hierarchy exists, that's also what I was keeping in mind. But like I said, we choose our reality. No force has came down to the world and exposed itself and said, this is the truth. So it's like we all have our free will and we decide on how we want to live, what we want to believe in, what we want to do, etc. That's why I tell people, if you're going to believe in anything, because a lot of times beliefs aren't necessarily facts, just very strong opinions, then make sure it's, something that doesn't restrict you. It doesn't inflict fear, And 9 times out of 10, please let it be positive. Because I guarantee you, if the world was raised up in a way to where we didn't turn everything into a negative thought or aspect, people would be less traumatized. Trigger warning, the suicide rates will go down, and like a whole bunch of stuff. We will probably be less segregated as well. But the thing is, everybody is so negative, and we take things personal and like a lot of other stuff. That's why I like how different things already exist for people. Psychology exists, this exists, that exists. And you got to be careful, though, because sometimes you can be misled, you can be misguided, you can be mistaught. But at the end of the day, I feel like regardless of those delays or obstacles, you still can come into the true version of yourself, So with that being said, you guys, since you are a person that actually carries the capacity to be understanding and compassionate, not everybody does. So that's why you have to be gentle with yourself and others. People are showing up as the version of themselves that they're only able to show up as. Sometimes we take it personal when we realize that people have good traits and bad traits, because we like, well, if you got the good traits, then you're manipulative because you keep showing me the bad traits. And it's like, think of it as an illness. Just think of it like how they say alcoholism is an illness. Just think of this as something that's like an illness, but more of something that's like mental or psychological or emotional illness, Some people, they name it narcissism. Some people, they name it childhood trauma. Some people, they name it this. Everybody has different names, just like in religion. We all have different names of this and different names of that. But it all comes barring down to like this one whole thing. So like I said, I guess it's just the outlook, your perspectives, your perceptions, or like how you perceive things, and everything like that. Because however you take things, you can take it. Right? Like, it's sad. It makes me upset. That's fine. We all have these emotions, and I feel like they are here for a reason. And a lot of times it even gives you the answer to how you're feeling. Like, if you have this anger, then maybe that means that somebody just overstepped a boundary of yours. Right? But at the end of the day, however we express ourselves or these emotions, it can help us with our underlying traumas and issues, because not a lot of things is actually personal. So if we're taking it that way, that means somebody could have crossed us already at one point in time in our lifetime, So, like I said, I just feel like that's why so many people just be existing. Honestly, I don't ever like to say why this happens and why that happened, because, this is why these things are debatable, because it's no silent yes or no or answer. It can be if you decide to be that voice and that answer for yourself. And who's to say that you can't? It's your reality. So it would be asking of too much if I ask a person who is not understanding to be understanding. So if you are already a person who knows how to be understanding, who knows this and knows that, use that to your advantage. It can help you heal. Instead of dwelling and feeling like, oh, this person cheated on me, this person lied to me, this person stabbed me in the back. What else were they going to do, love? It's not like they showed up in the energy that you showed in to where you wouldn't dish out this type of trauma. Sadly, they were in a different energy, but you don't have to take it so in that way, because you're going to get traumatized and you're going to get depressed. You most definitely are. So since you have the means to understand how people can show up and why they do what they do, just remember that Don't remember everything else that you picked up from your ancestors and society. Like, oh no, these people just heartless. They ain't got no soul. Da da da. Whatever. Because that's not going to be really the best. I don't feel like you're going to really be able to enjoy life being in that energy. Especially when you're a person that's very sensitive and, you know, you have a huge heart. So I just feel like you got to be really strategic with it. And once again, this is not lying to yourself. This is just really facts. Literally, you can sit down with a psychologist itself. Some people, they want to go based off science. Okay, there go your science. Some people, they want to go based off the spirituality of everything. Okay, there go your spirituality. Like, you know. So you can appreciate the good things that came from it and everything else, and the lessons from the blessings out of the lessons that you've obtained. That's what you can do. But holding on to the pain and that's not doing nothing for you, honey. But causing you to probably gain an autoimmune disease or something. Because I'm telling you, that's how people be getting them diseases. A lot of times it has a lot to do with what you eat, but also with you falling into stress and depression. Like, you really hindering your health. So just start over. And start over with the huge heart that you've always been having, with the wisdom that you've attained. It really has, it doesn't have a lot to do with the mind or the mental, but it can be a mind thing, but it mainly has a lot to do with your understanding, with your emotional intelligence, etc., to help you heal. So use that to help you heal. Confirm the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, I'm seeing stability on stability, financially and within yourself. There's also a divine masculine here. I'm seeing a father figure as well. Some of y'all could be holding on to something with the father figure. I don't know if it's pain. I don't know if it's the person itself. Some of y'all could be holding on to the fact of some type of betrayal and like how much you loved this person or was committed to this person, or you seen them as, man, you was my family. Or you was this, you was my lover. How could you really do that though? It brings us back to this. You know why people show up how they show up. If they are not emotionally intelligent, then they're going to show up as emotionally immature or emotionally unbalanced or whatever the hell. If they are not somebody who is as compassionate or nurturing, they're going to be the opposite. Or they're going to be halfway compassion, halfway nurture, halfway the opposite, right? Whatever it is. So since you have this type of understanding, because not everybody can look at things from a certain aspect. Not everybody can feel things in a certain aspect. So if you have that ability, which is extremely great for you. See, some people, they look at things as a blessing and a curse. No, I'm telling you, that's the part that comes in about the beliefs. You create your reality based on your beliefs. So if you look at that as a blessing and a curse, that's how it's going to show up for you. But if you look at it as a straight blessing, shit, you gonna bounce back like that. I'm telling you, that's what I mean by it can be a mind thing, but it's also something that's deeper than that. Because this is time to feeling. You know what I'm saying? Something that can be like a knowing as well. So since you have the ability and the capacity to understand on a deeper level, you can heal yourself from the people who did you a certain way. Because now you can know that it wasn't personal. Now you can know that if I date a snake, I'm going to get a snake. If I date an angel, I'm going to get an angel. If I date a devil, I'm going to get a devil. And I mean all of these in a metaphorical sense. Because like I said, sometimes we call things a snake and the devil. And that's just another belief that can actually be kind of negative. I don't really like to label things. You know, I evolve and grow every now and then. And sometimes I shift my beliefs or come into different realizations. So I don't really be trying to label things. But like I said, I can't expect this type of energy from somebody who's not in this energy. I can expect a person in this energy to show up like this. I can expect a person like this energy to show up like this. So if I'm expecting somebody with emotional intelligence to operate in a certain energy, I can't, it just don't work like that. They're going to look at this in this way. But you guys have the ability to turn this like this because you are in this energy. It's just about, like I said, sometimes the answers, they already be right there in our face. We already be knowing, but I'm telling you, we just be blinded by certain things, either by trauma, either by projected beliefs. It can really be anything. But the Emperor usually talks about a solid foundation, or a foundation overall. It can talk about a person, specifically father figures or a mature energy. It's being confirmed with the Four of Pentacles, and four usually ties to stability. The Pentacles is the earth energy, Taurus, Capricorn, and or Virgo. The Emperor is the Aries energy. So like I said, this person could be an Aries. They could be some type of earth energy, or they could be like a fiery energy or something. And if this is not necessarily talking about a person, it could just be talking about a foundation of self, your finances as well. Like some of you guys, you're saving your money, or you're encouraged to. We're not saying be a hoarder, right? So where you holding on real tight that you can't let go. But some of you guys, I'm just seeing stability, honestly. Confirm more of this Emperor and Four of Pentacles. We got the Knight of Cups. Some type of offer. Somebody's on this mission of love, emotions, creativity, intuition. In relationships. So somebody's either holding on, they saving. So it can be in any way. Everybody's life is different. You'll just have to take the messages how it resonates for you. Yeah. So yeah, it's fine to realize when you feel like somebody's not going to change. Like, okay, well, the situation is just not getting any better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just remove myself. We don't have to feel guilty. We don't have to feel like we're abandoning anybody. We don't have to look at it as betrayal if we choose to move forward and connect with other people. It's just about self-respect, no longer abandoning self, you know, just wanting to create a reality where you've always dreamt and fathomed of the fairy tale lifestyle, right? But not something that's a fantasy and something that's not real. No, the real deal, true love, real love, not that stuff that's, no, you know? So, I mean, some people, maybe they can change, but are we about to sit there and try to study it and see? I mean, we can. Some people do. Some people don't. You got to live your life. You came into this world alone. You're going to pass away that way. Everyone that you once known, you didn't know at one point in time. So we can always go back to being lover to stranger, family to stranger, this to that, stranger to lover, stranger to this. It starts with the first time you say hi, or that communication. I'm telling you, that's what opens up everything. So you got to really just create the reality that you want to live in. Stop going based off what everybody else feels, or, oh, I just seen this tarot reading and now I know about twin flames, so maybe this person a twin. Don't get caught up. Just go within. That's why I've been pulling away from readings myself, and I was mainly focused on doing readings like during this time around, instead of, I just started like outgrowing listening to other people give me a reading. Especially because I realize that sometimes people only give readings in the form of what they've only experienced. So if they're going through a heartbreak, and if they currently see a situation to where they like, nah, if that person don't ever go, that's how their reading's gonna end up being. Like, oh no, if these people, y'all moving for y'all, you know. So I remain neutral in my situation. I'm not in the energy where I will go back to a person, but I'm gonna spread that to the collective and say not to go back. Nah, because I don't know, maybe I'll end up shifting my energy and probably go back my damn self, you know. So I'll just be giving a message that I feel called to give. And yeah, I am doing readings, but that's pretty much what I'm seeing, y'all. So as we talked about in the beginning, you guys most definitely are dodging bullets, and I feel like this could be within relationships, this can be within career, this could be within financial situations, legal situations, this can be within love, life, professional, non-professional, whatever, in any aspect, okay? Especially from people. Some of y'all are being more strategic in life with human beings, and some of y'all are encouraged to, like I said. So I'm glad you came across this message, because we do be needing messages like this. I don't really hear people giving messages like this. So I don't mean to really bring up other people, but I guess I can just acknowledge that out loud with myself. That's how I know I most definitely got to be in the field of communication or humanitarianism or whatever. I mean, I don't have to be, but it's like very natural to me. And it's like helpful. That's good. Yeah, some of these people, I'm about to call they bluff because they've been bluffing. They spying. They spying on y'all. I mean, I don't really care, but the energy coming out. So I got to also remember that energy can be timeless. It don't have to just be current right now and the past stuff that happened. This message, because I even did my own readings, right? And I'll post them. And I go to a message that I did like 10 months ago, and it'll resonate for me in like that present moment for myself. So that's how I'm able to let y'all know. Readings most definitely could be timeless. Sometimes I thought it was talking about that one person who I had in mind. Whole time it was talking about a whole new person who I didn't even experience yet at that point in time. You know, so that's what people mean by timeless readings. It doesn't have to just resonate for today or tomorrow or any day in particular. It can really be anytime, anywhere, whatever the case may be. Any person. You know, this is a collective, but I'm not talking to anyone in particular. That would be a personal reading. So that's why we say take what resonates for you. A lot of times I'm only just fortune telling or confirming what you already know, right? But yeah, releasing. Y'all letting go, moving on, walking away, and you about to walk right into the sunset with your damn self and attract somebody, friends and lover wise. Yeah, we got influences out here. It says attachments, third parties, peers. Remember we talked about that energy earlier when I was talking. See, there's no like particular way that you read. You just read whatever message you feel called to give. Some people try to go based off, oh, the cards is telling me this. No, but what do you already possess within you to where you can give a message to the collective? It's different. You know, the cards, you can read the cards how they is and it'll still resonate. You can read it intuitively and it'll resonate. You can probably create your own damn shit and it'll resonate, you know? Like, the cards don't talk. It's always any type of message. That's why they say just go with, you know, the flow, what you feel called to say. But we talked about the influences earlier. Like I said, a lot of these things could be mentioned in many aspects. So like I said, just take it how it resonates for you. One of the aspects that I used it in was how I ended up saying it in the beginning when I was talking about like being projected on and, you know, the whole society and like all that other stuff. But it can be other stuff like third parties. I don't really think I mentioned third parties, but I did mention cheating though earlier. But just take it how it resonates, because a lot of people, they don't have a partner to be cheated on. A lot of people, they could have a partner and they didn't get cheated on, you know? So that's what I mean, like, take the message how it resonates. Sometimes it can be confirming things that happened in the past, you know, it's going on in the present, something that hasn't happened yet, so future tense, you know, just take it how it resonates. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Angel number 11. Confirm influences. We got time. Waiting, cycles. So some of y'all could be allowing time to influence certain things for you. You could be waiting on something. There could be some type of cycles going on. I'm seeing moments or whatever the case may be. But like I told y'all, sometimes you can't wait on nobody else. You can't wait on that sign that you waiting on from God itself. Because like I said, no, you gotta go based off when you didn't have any beliefs. Remember the time when you didn't have no beliefs at all, not even God? You was just living like a human being. That's when it was less stressful, child. Now we got rules. You gotta live this way. Who told you that? How you gonna tell me how I need to live? Let me do me, okay? If I'm gonna be 420 friendly, that's me. Maybe I'll get out of it eventually. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll become Bob Marley III, okay? Like, people just gotta, you know, so like, let's go back to a time when we didn't really have beliefs. It's fine if you believe in God. That's fine. But I'm saying, go back to the time where you didn't have any Beliefs. You wasn't waiting on nothing, no special moment, no special time. It could be a regular Tuesday to you. But now when we look at things, this is the heart chakra day. This is this, and there's nothing wrong with that. I gotta put emphasis. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay? It's your life. You believe in whatever you want to believe. Okay? That's what they mean by people are entitled to their own opinions. And whatever else. That's your life. That's you. But remember, it was a time where if you was gonna start school, you just started school. And that was probably because your parent or guardian told you, well, you got to start school at 4 years old. So here you go, elementary or whatever. But I'm just giving an example. When it was time to do this and do that, it was acted on. It wasn't something that was like, oh, it's the Mercury retrograde, I shouldn't do that. Oh, it's this, da, da, da. See, when you believe in things, I feel like it becomes even more heightened. Like, since I know about Mercury retrograde, child, it's almost like it be accurate as hell. And I'm not saying astrology isn't accurate, but sometimes, like, I am picking back up on that, what you believe in, you bring to reality type of thing. Whole time you start believing in twin flames, you start believing in Mercury retrograde, you start believing all these things, it's most definitely going to be true in your reality. Next thing you know, technology messing up. This and that is going on. So maybe these things could be a thing. It could be real. Or you just created that. Like, people are really powerful. We don't think with 30% of our brain, but we powerful for real. When you believe in something, and even that's a belief itself, So some people, they just go based off of knowing rather than beliefs. But all I know is life is what you make it, and you can do anything, be anything, think anything, operate as anything as you want to be in this life. You have all the tools and resources. You have the emotions, you have the mental or the thoughts, you have the physical, you have really all the tools and resources. So it's just about how you are going to go about life. Sometimes we go by the book. Some people, they believe in the Bible, they religious, they spiritual, they this, they that, some type of label. They got their ancestors who had beliefs, who taught them this and taught them that. Now that's how they show up, right? So it's just about who are you, figuring out, getting to the bottom of it. And sometimes you can't really live in your authenticity when you operating from a traumatized version of yourself, or a version of yourself who's been projected on from other people's belief systems. If you would have been raised in a world where there was no belief systems, I guarantee you probably wouldn't even be where you are right now in life. I guarantee you, okay? But sometimes you grow up in a world that's not as perfect, and you get raised by people who are also not as perfect, who probably didn't learn the things that you wish that you would have learned when you were a kid or experienced when you were a kid. It's a pattern. It's a cycle for real. That's why some people, they created this. You're the generational curse breaker. You're the chosen one. And I'm not saying that all of these things are false, but I'm just saying they still are beliefs. Either you can believe in it or you don't have to. You can just vibe out and not have no beliefs and just thug it out like that. You ain't gonna die and go, you know what I'm saying? I know a lot of fear is going on in the world with hell and all this other stuff. But like I said, at one point in time, you came into the world, you didn't have any beliefs. If you realize at the end of the day when you pass away, if there's an afterlife, then you're going to realize it then, child. But right now, nobody really know. Okay, we know, if we know something, that's because maybe we had like some type of lucid dream, or sometimes people say they pass away and they meet God, like all of that stuff. But child, I don't know. I just go based off of me. I ain't going to say what we have to do, but I just go based off of me, and what I feel like can bring a lighter load to the collective is the things that I've already mentioned. And I try to be as biased as I can without projecting on the collective and everything like that. So if I didn't say anything, if I said anything that didn't really sit right with you or resonate for you, please don't take it, okay? You are not obligated to listen to anything I'm saying or go based off what I'm trying to tell. Whatever I'm saying, okay? But what I do speak on has a lot to do with justice for all, not just self, and everything. It's not something that's so like, oh, nah, I don't like that. That's a little too ... It's something that actually sounds pretty, more than decent. That's how I feel. I'm not tooting my own horn or nothing. I'm just saying, you know. But don't wait on time. I heard that saying that time waits on no one. You know, just get up and do it. Just get up and do it. If you want to go based off astrology, if you want to go based off spirituality, if you want to go based off religion, the Bible, or this and that, or just your own inner truth, inner wisdom experience, do what you do, honey. But I know for sure, for me, the target and the goal would be inner peace. However means necessary, you need to get there. Especially if you plan on sticking around the world for a couple more decades, or more than a couple more decades. Decades, it's 10 years. 1 decade is 10 years. So, look, if you plan on being around here till you past 50, 60, 80, you know, let's try shifting our perspectives and just really helping you, right? You help you can help the world, child. If everybody just focuses on helping themselves, the world will be a better place. So, deprogram to reprogram. Y'all bump heads with people, but you really don't have to. You off and on with people, but you really don't gotta be. It's just about how we take things, how we feel, how we see things. You know, our perception. Some people believe in abortion. Some people believe they don't believe in that. Like, the thing is, who are you? What do you believe in? Are you only operating as a liberal or this and that because you grew up on that and basically was trained and programmed to? That's what I'm saying. You got to deprogram to reprogram. And a lot of times, shit, we already in the 20th century and you already done learned so much stuff, child. So, But maybe that's why when you adopt or have kids of your own, you can start them off on a journey where you're not projecting on them, etc. Because I guess we didn't already came up and lived a little bit of our lives in the beginning because we no longer kids anymore. So we've already been like a bit affected. I feel like anything could be possible. I feel like just because we've been projected on and programmed, I don't feel like it's fixed, you know. But I do feel like if we could go back in the past and start all over again, that we wouldn't be who we are right now. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. I feel like even though we no longer kids, I feel like we still can reach our authenticity. Even though we already in our 20s and 30s and whatever else. Okay, maybe it's a possibility. All right, like I said, anything that's negative is false, so I ain't even gonna go there. But I did have this thought that what if we do try to like heal and do all these things, but it still wouldn't really matter fully because we've already come into like a certain outlook of life and this and that. But then I had this other thought, almost like you got the good angel, the bad angel, but instead there's no good or bad. It's just different perspectives. And I was thinking, oh shit, you can deprogram, or you can do this and you can heal and you can and still make it out to be in this version of yourself that would have existed even if you weren't projected on. So I don't know. But I do know that y'all should, I ain't gonna say what you should do, but I do know that I said everything that I've already said. I feel like y'all already have the clarity. Yep. This is also going to help spark something up within you for sure. But you just got to get out of that distorted reality. This unbalanced energy with the illusions and everything like that. Everything that's coming out is really already confirming the things that I already said. So I'm just trying to see if there's any last things that I want to talk about. Somebody could be coming in with a confession. Yeah, confirmation, like I said. See, a lot of y'all, these family situations, whether it was people who you had children with or people who you're blood related to, some people, like I said, they were just, and even you could have been somebody who was misunderstood. And these individuals too, like, I feel like a lot of us, we misunderstand each other and we create certain traumas for each other, even if it's unintentional or even if it's accidental. That's why I try to be really careful on what I do or say to a person, even if they probably cause me some type of anything. Because the thing is, I'm probably only traumatized or in pain behind the situation because I've already was possibly deep down insecure about something to begin with, or this and that. Because maybe if I was more confident, no insecurities, this and that, maybe something wouldn't have even gotten to me as much. Because I remember when I was first talking to this person, we was on the metro bus, and I seen that they looked at somebody butt, right? Me, I laughed it off, right? But when I started being more emotionally invested and everything like that, which on my end, that shows me how I'm so quick to fall head over heels for people before I have even mastered self-love within myself, etc., right? So, I mean, that's the point where I can understand how we can take accountability on what we also go through. It's not, disvalidating what you went through and what you've experienced. Your feelings are valid, but it also can help you see how you got yourself in this pickle to begin with. And a lot of times it's even because we ignore red flags and we move too fast in situations. But like I said, it's a living and learning experience. That's why you know not to put the blame on yourself either. You just living and learning for real, and eventually start knowing better. But this can really help you not become resentful towards others and, beat yourself up about stuff and everything else. It's just all, like I said, how you look at things. Because sometimes people are more of a victim than you think. We don't have to victimize ourselves, right? I'm big on that. And when I say we don't have to victimize ourselves, it's not saying like, oh, you not this person who's innocent. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying it's more in the sense of you don't have to look at yourself as somebody who was weak and got taken advantage of, everything else. Because a lot of times in those moments, we be knowing better, or we can handle something more than what we thought. Or I don't even know. I guess it depends on the situation itself that we're talking about. My phone is on 3% though, so I'm about to get ready to end the live. If any of you guys wanted to get on the list for a reading, I can do you a personal. And you can just send in your payment any way you know how. I have 6 different prices for my questions and my readings. So for questions, I have $7 readings. $7 questions, $10 questions, and $15 questions. Whether it's time frame or specific question or, whatever, the pregnancy, anything health related. Remind you, none of these are, I gotta say in every reading or even when I'm on live that this is for educational purposes or entertainment purposes, and this is not to be taken as professional or health professional advice or whatever the case. Okay, so I have to let y'all know that. But I also have $25 readings, $35 readings, and $50 readings. All questions and readings are in depth, even if you choose the most minimum amount. But depending on your donation base, depends on how long I stay in the reading and everything else. All right, remind you guys, this is all like energy. So I don't disappoint when I give messages. It's always beneficial. It's always life-changing. So I also have discounted prices for low-income families or individuals who, because I know some people, they were telling me that they're in shelters or they are not really where they want to be financially. And some people, they genuinely be telling the truth, right? Because I was in my own situations where, but it was also sometimes where I just personally did not want to pay people for like a certain, before I was a reader, I just genuinely did not, I was trying to hold on to their change. I'm like, nah, but let it come to like a gram or something. I'm 15, bet. Oh, 50, bet. So it's just like the same, situation. But just think of it as the person itself, the energy that they're putting in it, and the wisdom and everything else that they obtain. Like I told y'all, our greatest superpower is that nobody else is like us. So instead of just thinking of it like, oh, well, this reading, all that, I see people paying, they got $5 readings and all this stuff. I used to do $5 readings for sure, but I could never give a message without being too deep or in depth. So I just realized, like, for the quality of my readings and everything else, that's kind of why I have my prices how they are. If it was up to me, I'll charge a little bit more for them. But I guess I'm still building up that certain energy to do so. So for right now, that's what the prices are at as of right now. Don't forget, you guys, I don't just do readings. I do many other things. I'm a wise counsel, holistic consultant, multifaceted advisor, divination practitioner, and the list does go on. All right, don't forget to check out my YouTube, my Instagram. The link is all in the bio for all of my platforms, payment options, and everything like that. Don't get scammed. Keep in touch with my link tree. Don't forget to give me a follow or you will never see my face again. It's important that you give me a follow because it's a lot of people who be around here scamming, taking people videos and posting it. So just be mindful of that. But I'm seeing that y'all are starting over. Life is about to be amazing and feel amazing. And it can feel like that overnight if you just be consistent within the things that we talked about. I know for a lot of you guys, things are going to take time. But Jonesy, can you stop? I know for a lot of y'all, things are going to take time. That's okay. Don't beat yourself up about it. But just keep on reminding yourself of what we talked about. And don't worry, this message will be uploaded to my YouTube. So there's always messages to give you guys, but I got to go ahead and end the live. I'll see you in the next one. Returning your energy back to you, releasing mine back to me. Stay safe and dangerous. Ending this message, but never my love for you. Bye.